Nebraska wrapped up fall camp practice number 7 here on Friday. Hi, Sean Callahan for Husker Online. Huskers will still go both Saturday and Sunday as well, holding their first major scrimmage of fall camp on Sunday. And thus far, one of the early storylines in camp was Joe Doman not being a part of the initial 110-man roster, but Scott Frost said that changed here on Friday as Doman is back in camp.
JoJo is back with us, did some things today. We didn't have him in the 110 originally because he wasn't ready to go yet, and he had a good feeling about being home for a couple more days just to continue the rehab work he'd been doing when he was home. So as long as he wasn't in the 110, I couldn't make him be here, and we kind of picked a date when we both felt like he was going to be ready, and he came back when he was supposed to, and now he's back part of the team. So everything looks good from that standpoint, and I don't expect to be long with him.
And sticking at that outside linebacker spot with Doman, Frost was quick to praise once again Alex Davis, who's had a big offseason.
Alex has always had the skill and the gifts to do it. I think for him it was just getting comfortable with the position. He's not a guy that's played football his whole life. I think he was a basketball player growing up. And I think he'd be the first to tell you last year there was times he was in the right place or doing the right thing, but at the moment of truth he didn't go make the play. And some of that I think he was thinking a little too much. This year he seems to be cutting it loose, looks a lot better in pass rush. So I'm anxious to see what he can do on the field. If he plays the way he's practicing, he's going to have a good year.
Another position group that Frost is really high on after a year ago and the gains they've made is the secondary.
Fish has done a great job with the DBs. I think we did a great job recruiting at DB. The guys that are here have gone to work. They know what they're doing. That position group has made such a 180, it's hard to describe it. I know there's been a lot said about that, but Lamar Jackson looks like a different guy. DCAP is as solid and consistent a guy as you can find. Deontay is playing great football right now. Markel Dismuke's playing great football right now, and then we got a bunch of guys. Cam Taylor's playing great, and we got a bunch of guys behind him that I think are ready and are going to be really good down the road. So there's good things happening back there. Of course, as a former DB, you always look better as a DB when people up front are really good, and you don't have to cover for very long. So all that's got to come together for that to work. But that position group and Coach Fish and Coach Cooper, working with them, deserve a lot of credit for the change that they've made.
On offense, one of the better battles to watch right now is for the backup quarterback job, where both guys like Noah Vedral and freshman Luke McCaffrey are battling it out.
Yeah, I think all the quarterbacks are doing a good job. We're vastly improved at that position from the #1 guy all the way down the roster. It was a little depressing last year going into certain games with 1, maybe 2 healthy quarterbacks. Noah's been doing really good things. He's throwing the ball as well as I've seen him throw it. Obviously he's athletic and as familiar with our scheme as anybody. Luke's doing some really good things, throwing the ball really well, but also making a bunch of plays with his legs. And he's picked up the offense really fast. Bunchy has improved drastically. Matt Masker's making some good plays. So we're in a lot better place at that position. I wish the season would come down to a 4x1 relay with our quarterback group against everybody else's, because we got some guys that can run.
And joining those quarterbacks in the backfield will be the running backs. It will be a lot of new faces, but really no concerns, as Dedrick Mills especially has been very impressive.
I think the running backs have impressed me too. You never know what you're going to get with new guys. Dedrick Mills in particular has come in and just conducted himself like a pro. He's gone to work. He knows the offense better than I expected. Practices his butt off every day. Maurice is a step faster than he was last year, so he's doing some really good things. Wyatt Mazur is solid, and a bunch of the other guys are making plays. So I'm pleased with that group, and I think Ronald Tompkins is another guy that I think is really close to being back and out there and getting some reps after his injury in high school. So we're moving in a good direction at running back.
And then finally, Frost said the versatility of that backfield with guys like Wan'Dale Robinson, Miles Jones, Maurice Washington, Ramir Johnson that can play dual roles at both receiver and running back give Nebraska just another added threat.
Some of the versatility of those guys is going to help us. It's going to help us scheme. It's also going to help us, defend against any potential nicks that happen to guys. If we get short in the backfield, there's a couple receivers like Miles and Wan'Dale that can take carries. Those guys have looked really good in the backfield too. Kind of the inverse of that, if we get a couple receivers hurt, Mo Washington and some guys can go out and they know the routes. The tight ends are also doing good enough that I feel like they're going to be a big enough threat in the pass game that we have to play more with 2 tight ends on the field. We're going to be fine. So just the depth at all those positions is going to help us from a scheme standpoint, also going to help us to protect ourselves against any potential injuries.
The Huskers are back at it both Saturday and Sunday. They won't practice on Monday. Reporting here with the Nebraska football team in Lincoln, I'm Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com.